When I bought my land just outside Oak Ridge Hollow, I thought I was finally leaving all the noise behind. 35 acres of untouched Tennessee clay, 2 greenhouses, a beehive setup, and a workshop I built myself from leftover Army-grade steel beams. The view of the lake was just a bonus. The real treasure was the silence. After 21 years serving as an Army construction engineer and a discharge courtesy of a roadside ID, peace was the only thing I wanted to grow. I wasn't interested in suburban drama or community committees. That's why, when I found out the property I bought was never annexed into Oak Ridge Hollow's HOA, I considered it a damn blessing. No monthly dues. No pastel paint rules. No one knocking to tell me my barn wasn't the right shade of approved beige. Most of my neighbors were retirees who waved from afar and minded their own business. Most of them. Then came Martha Langford, president of the Oak Ridge Hollow HOA. Mid-50s, a former realtor turned suburban tyrant in a pearl-button blouse. Her first visit was polite, the kind of fake smile you practice in mirrors. Clipboard in hand, she introduced herself, saying, "We're so glad you're contributing to the neighborhood aesthetic." I raised an eyebrow. I hadn't contributed anything except a field of kale and a solar-powered irrigation rig built from decommissioned aircraft tubing. She frowned at the beehives. "Are those regulated?" she asked. Then she started her pitch about community cohesion and how joining the HOA would streamline expectations. "Martha," I said, pointing to the rusted gate and the big private property sign. "This land has never been under HOA jurisdiction. It wasn't when I bought it, and it won't be now." Her smile cracked. "I see. Well, just so you know, we take pride in ensuring all properties visible from Oak Ridge Hollow maintain a certain standard." I let that hang in the air. She left, and for a while, things were quiet. Then came the letters. First, a note shoved, not mailed, into my box, warning that my visible equipment violated community visual harmony. Then, an official-looking envelope with the HOA crest demanding I cease all unapproved agricultural activity. "I don't own livestock. I keep bees." I replied with a photo of me shirtless next to a hive, middle finger raised, captioned, "Not livestock. Sincerely, Jack Harper." After that, things escalated. Noise complaints about my solar pump. Accusations of unlicensed construction, meaning my greenhouse. Even a report about environmental hazards. She meant the bees. Then, one evening, I saw headlights creeping across my backfield. A dark Range Rover, slow and deliberate. The first night, I thought it was lost tourists. The second, it came back, moving slower. On the fourth night, I knew. It was Martha, trespassing through my crops like she owned the place. I found tire tracks the next morning, cutting deep through my kale rows. That was it. I started taking notes, dates, photos, every sign of intrusion. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. Then a man named Tom Reeves, an HOA board member, showed up at my gate. Mid-40s, khakis tucked into boots, hands raised like I was pointing a rifle at him. "Hey, Jack," he said. "Not everyone in the HOA agrees with Martha. If you need someone on the inside, I can help." I didn't open the gate. I just nodded. He left a card. I kept it, though I shouldn't have. Days later, the tire tracks came back, this time worse. Pipes snapped, beehives dented. That night, I set up trail cameras, infrared, silent, motion triggered. The first 2 nights, nothing. The third night, bingo. There she was, Martha's white Range Rover, creeping through my field. Her voice came through the radio mic. "Yeah, I'm here. He still hasn't fenced it. Once I file this, he'll fold. People like him never last long." I saved that footage. The next morning, I called the sheriff's office. 2 deputies came out, watched the clip, and shrugged. "Probably best to let it slide, Mr. Harper. She's just doing a neighborhood check. On private farmland at midnight." I asked. They didn't care. They left. 2 nights later, she came back and brought Tom. They drove through the lower field, laughing. My camera caught every second. The next morning, Tom showed up again, pretending to be friendly. "Karen's saying your bees are a danger to joggers. She's talking about filing environmental complaints." I just stared. "You don't say." That night, I caught both of them again, him in her passenger seat, pointing at my hives. That was enough. A week later, 3 SUVs from the State Department of Agricultural Oversight rolled in. Turns out, Martha had filed official complaints. Chemical leaks, unregulated bees, you name it. 3 inspectors spent hours touring the farm. I showed them everything: my solar rigs, drip lines, bee colonies. Not one violation. In fact, one inspector, Mr. Lawson, said, "This is one of the most advanced small-scale setups I've seen." When they left, they shook my hand. "Between you and me, Mr. Harper," Lawson said, "this reeks of harassment." That night, Tom came back again, nervous this time. "She told the board your runoff's killing fish. You're going to get another inspection." I laughed. "You think I care?" The next day, flyers appeared all over Oak Ridge Hollow. Local farm under investigation for environmental damage. But that evening, the department posted their findings online. A glowing review of my farm, titled "Private Innovation in Sustainable Farming." They even included photos of my beehives. I printed that article, taped it to my fence, and wrote on top in black Sharpie, "Nice try." A few days later, I started building a steel-reinforced fence, military-grade posts, concrete bases, and signs every 20 feet. Private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Then I hired attorney Sarah Mitchell, the kind of woman who could smile while she dismantled an HOA in court. We cataloged everything: damage reports, receipts, timestamps. Losses totaled nearly $50,000. We filed a civil suit: trespassing, property destruction, and malicious interference with agriculture. Tom showed up again, pleading, "This lawsuit will stir things up. Let the HOA mediate." I stared at him. "You were in her car, Tom. I've got the footage." He froze, then left without another word. That evening, the motion lights went off again. I grabbed my phone and watched from the greenhouse. Martha's Range Rover rolled along the new fence line, lights off. The bees stirred, angry at the vibration. Then my motion lights kicked on, flooding her SUV with light. She panicked, hit reverse, and slammed into the fence. Hard. The crunch of metal was almost satisfying. I approached slowly, phone recording. "Mrs. Langford," I said, "you're trespassing on private property. You've damaged a reinforced barrier. I have everything on camera." She shouted through a cracked window, "You baited me. This is entrapment." "No," I said. "You drove through my land again. The bees live here. You don't." By the time deputies arrived, I had already handed them the footage. One watched it, then said flatly, "Looks clear to me. She's at fault." They cited her for trespassing and property damage. Her SUV was towed, front bumper crushed, grille torn off. She looked ready to explode. The next week, we went to court. Sarah presented everything: property deed proving my land wasn't HOA territory, videos of multiple trespasses, damage assessments, and official state inspection reports praising my setup. Then she revealed the smoking gun: emails. Turns out, Tom had forwarded internal HOA messages to a resident who leaked them. In one, Martha wrote, "If we keep up the pressure, he'll fold. No one wants to live under siege." Another called my bees psychological warfare. The judge didn't need long. Verdict: Martha Langford, liable for trespassing, property damage, and harassment. Fine, $112,000, plus a 6-month suspension from the HOA board. That hit hard. By the next week, Oak Ridge Hollow was in chaos. Residents who'd once worshipped Martha now turned on her. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Someone even egged Tom's house, twice. The local paper ran a headline: HOA president fined after using SUV to harass farmer. Another article called it "Justice Buzzes Back." Her husband listed their house for sale the same week. I saw her once after that, in the grocery store parking lot. She looked away. I didn't. Sarah filed a second lawsuit: defamation and business interference, since Martha's false reports had briefly suspended my bee certification, costing me contracts. That one's still ongoing, but I'm not in a hurry. The grass has grown back. The hives are thriving again. I added another greenhouse and painted the barn, not because of the HOA, but because I damn well wanted to. Folks from nearby towns visit now. Kids, tourists, even school groups. I call it the Right Way Tour, a small walkthrough of the hives and irrigation systems. I always end by pointing at the steel fence and saying, "This here isn't just to keep things out. It's a reminder, boundaries matter." They always laugh. One little boy asked if the bees ever chased bad people off. "Only the ones who deserve it," I said. The parents laughed louder than he did. Now, when people drive past my gate, they see a wooden sign carved by hand. "This land belongs to bees, farmers, and the law." Everyone else, kindly don't. And below it, in small letters, P.S. No HOA.